Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Shemaine, aka Terry McGinnis, coming at you with Destiny impressions of the PvP, the competitive multiplayer. And this is probably one of the worst matches you will ever see me upload in my channel ever, because I played so bad this match. But I couldn't get into another match this night because of the that was when Xbox Live services were super down. I mean, I couldn't play any I couldn't play strike missions, couldn't play none of that. I couldn't play exploration. The beta was going down, and it really wasn't the beta's fault, I don't believe. I think it was Xbox Live. Like, you couldn't invite friends, you couldn't join parties, none of that stuff. So this is pretty much all I had, you know what I mean? So I tried to quickscope this guy. I just had to try it out, you know. I just had to try it out. But seriously, guys, this is one of the worst matches you will ever see me play. And I play Destiny like I play Halo. I rush so fucking hard, and I just go all out. That's how I play Halo, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna talk about the pros first, because there's not a whole lot of pros in comparison to the cons of the PvP. And I'm telling you guys, like, I make some stupid decisions, and I do a fucking ganger back right here. I died, I got shot in the head, I did a ganger back on the motherfuckers. Didn't expect that. But what I really like about it's this thing I like and don't like. The fact that you literally take your character from the not single player, but from like the campaign and cooperative modes, you slap them right into online multiplayer. It's your character with your armor, with your weapons, with your look, your customized abilities, all that stuff. That's cool, you know what I mean? It really is like a seamless transition from one game mode to the next, and it kind of keeps the continuity of playing that your hero, you know, if you will. It makes sense, you know what I mean? It seems like, yeah, he really is not just some character on one mode and just fighting, you know, these creatures or whatever. So that's one thing I like. Another thing is these maps are relatively pretty fucking large, and with the mini map in the top left corner, it's extremely similar to Halo. And with that, with it being like that, I get like quadruple teamed here. You have to have really fucking good map knowledge, because it's not going to show you structures, it's not going to show you levels where enemies might be, or teammates and friendlies and stuff like that. You have to know the map. You're going to get an indication of where the enemy is in the direction, and that's all you have, you know what I mean? You got to know what structures are in front of you, what is going to be immediately on your right, you know, is there any good spots where they can possibly shoot you from? You know, I like that like invokes true skill to me, you know what I mean? If you know the map really, really well. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Honestly, other than that, guys, that is all I can really think of right now in terms of what's good about the competitive multiplayer. If, you know, like I said, this video isn't really structured. You know, I'm just talking off the top of my head, because I'm being real, you know what I mean? I'm not really writing lists for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the cons, and there are so many in this. And keep in mind, this is my opinion, okay? So if you really love Destiny online multiplayer competitively, you know, that's you know what I mean? I really fucking don't, okay? I really don't. And I, like a fool, I decided to change, and I got popped in the face. But like, one of the points I said about being a pro is about taking your character straight into the game. Like, honestly, to me, this game on competitive multiplayer level, you don't have to be very skilled, because you can seriously just grind on the single player. And that was a fail. And there's another one coming up shortly. You can grind so hard, get so many Vanguard marks to get Vanguard armor and weapons, and you're ahead of the game, yo. You are so far ahead of everyone else that your ability to aim, strafe, and outmaneuver other players, it doesn't matter, because your guns do so much fucking damage on their own. You have so much armor, you have so much defense, that they can sit there and, like, theoretically empty clips into you while you can kill them relatively soon because of your weapon damage. Solely on your weapon damage, you know what I mean? Like, in a nutshell, Destiny Online multiplayer is not about skill level, it's about whose gear is better, who has better guns, who has better armor, because it's so reliant on being able these modes are so reliant on you having a good character and good abilities, and it's just like, it's like a skill, you know what I mean? Who has better abilities, that's it. That's all it fucking is. Seriously, that makes me appreciate the balance in Titanfall so much more. In addition to talking about the guns, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Talking about the guns. Oh yeah, speaking of guns, this game, oh my god, if you get a headshot, it's the equivalent to winning the fucking Nobel fucking Peace Prize, okay? You are rewarded so hard for getting a headshot. That is the only incentive to use a DMR style fucking rifle, a scout rifle, I think that's what they're called. That is the only incentive to use that weapon. Because if not, you might as well use an automatic weapon. Because their damage output is so fucking high because they're just a constant stream of fire. Even okay, if you take the same gun, the same damage stats, and just put one into a single fire mode, the automatic weapon will win fucking 9 times out of 10 because it's just a constant stream of fire and it does a lot. Even if it does less damage, if you're not getting a headshot with a DMR style weapon, don't use it. Do not use it. Speaking of which, special weapons. This game gives you no on competitive multiplayer, on single player or whatever PvE, yes. But in multiplayer, it gives you no incentive to use anything other than a shotgun because they do so much damage. Their damage output is fucking ridiculous. It is a one-shot drop in like close to medium range combat. 2 shots maybe. 2 to 3 shots in medium combat. That is so fucking ridiculous. There is no point in using, you know, like the little charge weapon because not only do you have to charge it, that's time that you are not, that's time in which you are not firing and causing damage on your opponent. Not only that, when it expels its ammunition, it goes and it spreads like a shotgun, but it's in a vertical, it's in a linear column. That you have to be extremely close to be able to use that. And if they have a shotgun going against you, the time it takes to charge that weapon, you're so fucked that there's no point in using it. You might as well use a shotgun and go balls out close quarters, or use a fucking sniper rifle and sit back and pick people off. That's some things that I cannot get over. And it seems like Bungie got crossed up between if they wanted to take too many Halo elements versus fucking versus a modern shooter, because I'm strafing so hard in this game. I am strafing so hard and hip firing in this game, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it feels so similar to Halo. You'd be surprised how well you will do with hip firing and strafing with a DMR. You will be very surprised on how well you can actually kill people. Which is kind of, I don't want to say it's sad, but it's just like, it doesn't make sense. It's like, why is that in this game if this is supposed to, if you have aim down sights, but yet you can kill people steadily by hip firing with the DMR and not really any other weapon. It's like, okay, so you take that element of your previous game, and that it just crosses me. It's probably only me, to be honest, but it crosses me up so hard because I'll be in a firefight and I'll switch from one style of fighting to another. I'll switch from hip fire to aiming down the sights when I'm trying to strafe, and it's like, okay, you can't really strafe when you're aiming down the sights because you don't move you don't move very fast. Characters move so sluggish. Oh my god. And if you activate the fucking like lift ability, forget about it. You're dead. You're just a floating target, you know what I mean? Let's see. The super moves, the Fist of Havoc, one thing that aggravates me very, very much is it kind of go like in terms of fighting games, it has no invincibility frame. Like when you activate it, you can still be damaged. I seriously got killed by a mid-air melee while activating the Fist of Havoc, like leaping forward. I was so surprised. My move that does, it's an instant kill if you're in the vicinity. I got killed mid-air by a melee because there's no invincibility in it. You're still vulnerable. Secondly, that's the same thing with the Nova Bomb, but I mean you're like falling backwards, and then okay, the Hunter's super ability, it makes sense, okay, right? It makes sense, but it is, I'm sorry, but it is so overpowered. Like, it's funny how you can call it overpowered because all of them are overpowered, but the fact that I don't know how long it lasts, but let's say you have 20 seconds and you only have to hit a person once, no matter where on their body. That is so fucking cheap. With Nova Bomb and what is that called? I wanted to say Hulk Smash. What the fuck is it called? Fist of Havoc. It's a one shot. You know, you got one opportunity, and that's all you got. But with oh my god, with fucking that, what's a golden gun? I don't know what it's fucking called, dude. It's like that. It's so ridiculous. You can run into a room outnumbered and kill everybody because of that. You need one shot. You can just fucking pan over everybody, let the crosshairs hit it, just like hip fire, pam pam pam. You fucking have a zone to yourself. I hate it. I hate it. I just don't like it. It's incredibly cheap. I mean, all of them are cheap, but that is the most cheap. And I just don't. There's no way to counter it. There's no. If you do a Fist of Havoc, or if you throw a Nova Bomb, as long as you get out of the way of the Nova Bomb, you know what I mean? Because there's obviously a blast radius. But if I jump forward and somebody has a solar gun, whatever, they shoot me once, I'm dead. Because there's no invincibility frames. That's something that could counteract that, but it's not present in that fucking in the goddamn in the move. And man, I just don't. Like I said before, I'm buying Destiny for a very lengthy, loot-driven, RPG elements, all that stuff, blah blah blah, blah, cooperative game to play with my friends. That's why I'm buying the game. Competitive multiplayer, I don't really care for it. I don't plan to play it a whole lot. And that's kind of that, you know what I mean? That's kind of my pros and cons of the competitive multiplayer. I know it was like 2 pros and a lot of cons, and it's just unfortunate, man. It's just unfortunate. Speaking, go back into weapons, heavy weapons. When I play PvE, I like to use a heavy machine gun. You know what I mean? Suppressive fire. You know, because I play the Titan class. That's what I'm playing right now, and it makes sense. You know, you get a lot of ammo. You can do a lot of damage. But it's like if you play online, like competitive multiplayer, there is literally, like I said, with the shotgun, there's no incentive not to use the rocket launcher because it's a one-hit kill. It's so fucking. This game does not give you an incentive to use other weapons than a shotgun, than a rocket launcher, than an automatic weapon. Really, like honestly, you know what I mean? And it's unfortunate because you have so many different variations of guns. Not only that, they do kinetic damage, solar damage, void damage, all these other types of elements and whatnot that bring in dynamics to multiplayer, but they're not prevalent whatsoever because of just simple flaws, simple like kind of decisions and gameplay flaws that kind of break down the fucking game to what is supposed to be a rich and expansive game, expansive like items. That's what kind of the word I'm thinking of, expansive items. But the way it works out on like, there's a different story between having it on paper and then having it in game. It's so fucking different. It is so fucking different. The competitive multiplayer breaks this game down to a generic shooter with the same basic fucking weapons as any other game. Really. That may be a little too extreme, I'm going to be totally honest, but seriously, the weapons that work and that don't work are in a small group. It's just so aggravating and frustrating that it's like that. When this is a loot-driven game, you know what I mean? Unless you get like a fucking souped-up weapon, of course you're going to use that, you know what I mean? And then you're at a significant advantage, and then you're running the tables. And that's what I don't like. That's why like I'm starting to really appreciate the simplified like decisions and the simplified aspects of Titanfall. And I know a lot of people complained about that, but that's something that I really like because it puts everyone on the same page. This game, no way. No way in hell you're putting on the same page. No, everyone's a little bit on a different spot on the mountain, which is it's cool because it's challenging, but at the same time, like I said, once it goes from paper to actual game, totally different. Game breaks down all the way. So that's a really long video. I kind of ran it for the most part. That's going to do it for me, you guys. Let me know what you think of the Crucible competitive multiplayer and Destiny.